Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
There is a special brew of baseball here in Milwaukee. Wednesday night, the Brewers clinched a playoff spot for the first time since 2011. There was a lot of hollering in a goggle-wearing, champagne-popping clubhouse. No question, they feel good about their baseball team, and they should, but they currently own the #1 wild card in the National League. The Cubs won earlier today, so Milwaukee trails in the National League Central by 1.5, and they need to sweep the Tigers for all intensive purposes to win it. Game 1 of the final series of the year is coming your way here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everyone. Alongside my partner, two-time World Series champ, Kirk Gibson, I'm Matt Shepard. We know what's at stake for Milwaukee. Why is a series like this, in this environment, important for a young Tigers team, Gibby?
Well, I think it's a matter of who you talk to. I remember in 1981, we were in the same situation in a playoff-looking environment. Sparky said, hey, after the game we lost, sit down, everybody watched them. And we did, and this is a great environment, much different than in Minnesota. It's going to be packed. It's a rabid. You have to apply the things that you've learned this year. You must try and apply those things and you've acquired all year. Apply those skills so you can beat a team that's getting ready to go to the playoffs. You got to realize what it takes when you go to spring training next year to be the one that's being watched next year.
Ron Gardner said he's really excited for his young team, see how they grow. And what a way that Christian Yelich has grown into one of the best players in all of baseball. It's hard to pinpoint what he does best because he's so versatile. Why is he so good?
Well, he's just a great athlete. I remember watching this kid when he came up with the Miami Marlins. He was there 13 through 17, and he always kind of had a little bit something about him. He's got a little extra oomph on his swing. He can use the whole field. He's got speed. He's a very good defender. And the thing about it is, this is a great get for the Milwaukee Brewers. This is something the Tigers are trying to do. He was the third guy traded out of Miami. They cleaned house, Ozuna, Giancarlo Stanton, and here he is. Christian Yelich is right here, and he's getting ready to go to the playoffs. Hit 7 home runs 4 years ago. He has 33 this year. He's had a monster second half, MVP candidate, and the Brewers are happy to have him, and the Tigers are going to have to find out a way to get him out.
Yeah, he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. This is a very good baseball team. They do a lot of things really, really well. They've had a number of really high-octane offensive games this year. Throughout our broadcast tonight, we'll be telling you about the best offensive games the Tigers have had this season. But before we get to first pitch, we'll take you back to the Call Sam studio. Mickey York is coming up next with Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit right after this. here inside this beautiful ballpark for game one of the three-game series between the Tigers and the Brewers. Here's the Tigers batting order presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Jeimer Candelario leads off 1 for 5 yesterday with an RBI and a run scored. Nico Goodrum bats fourth. He has a 5-game hitting streak. And Victor Reyes bats eighth and plays left field, trying to snap an 0 for 11 skid. Today's Brewers starting pitcher is Zach Davies. It's presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Zach Davies, the whole key to him is keeping the fastball down, which he did in his last 2 starts. It's not a swing and miss pitch, but obviously he's going to get the ground balls. Fastball, slider, cutter, curveball, and a change. So he's going to try and disrupt the Tigers' timing, by keeping the ball down.
He's had some issues with his right elbow, and it's affected the numbers. Last year he was really good. His first pitch of the night is high and away. Last year, Davies was 17-4 with an ERA of under 4 and a .94 WHIP. Drastically different numbers here this season.
2-7.
2-7 with big numbers too. Although not many home runs allowed. Just 8. Quick worker. 2-1 to Jeimer Candelario. Back up the middle. The shortstop is Orlando Arcia. All right, no Kristen Stewart batting in the 2-hole. As you saw, Harold Castro plays second base and will do just that. Kristen Stewart out tonight, day to day, with an injury, which is unfortunate considering how well he has been playing, Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, he's been locked in, especially, I don't know when the last time that he's had a bat at bat, really honing in on what the opponents were doing with him. But a little extra running last night. I think he's got a little tweak maybe up in the thigh area, so they're going to be cautious about that here at the end of the year, and he's out of the lineup tonight.
Second 3-hit game of his major league career last night. Went 3 for 4, had an RBI and a walk. Castro would love to put up those types of numbers.
I was excited to watch him play because this park's kind of a bandbox, and Kristen Stewart's hit many deep fly balls, and the ball really usually jumps in here, but he won't get that opportunity tonight.
The Milwaukee team that hits a lot of homers. Castro pokes it to center, and he has his second base hit as a pro.
Let's take a look at the Brewers starting defense. Left to right in the outfield, Ryan Braun, Lorenzo Cain, and Christian Yelich. Pretty good outfield there. Mike Moustakas, newly acquired at third base. Orlando Arcia, shortstop. Travis Shaw has moved over from third base to second base. Jesus Aguilar is at first. Eric Kratz is catching Zach Davies.
Nicholas Castellanos stands in. Just 1 for 11 on the road trip. Hoping to get back on track here tonight. Castro with good speed at first. Castellanos yanks it foul. You had mentioned Travis Shaw playing second base. He had never played second until this year at any level. And yet the Brewers have him positioned there, and well, look, they're in the playoffs. They gotta be doing something right. Talked with him before the game tonight.
Nick's got a broken bat there.
Yeah,
he's got it in the handle.
Yeah, he felt it as soon as he kind of touched home plate with it. But I was talking with Travis Shaw before the game tonight and asked him about his team playing loose and compared to a team like the Tigers, who may not have a lot to play for and playing loose. He said, look, the reason we are where we are is because of chemistry, fundamentals, and the ability to play loose under Craig Counsell, who is in his 4th year.
I would agree they want to be loose, and they may have been loose so far, but will they remain loose? That's why we're here to find out. It's why you're playing the game, so you always want to be loose. That's a good way of looking at it. I'm sure Craig Counsell's talked to his team about it, but they're going to be looking at that scoreboard out there in left field a ton. They already know that Chicago, I believe, is 1 today.
They beat
so they
St.
got
Louis.
that. Yep. I think something of interest might be Well, St. Louis would be the other thing that would be of interest. They played and they'd lost to the Cubs, but it's definitely a stressful time. But that is the fun part about it.
Yeah, if possible, they want to win the division. They want some home games. You don't want to play the lone game to try and get yourself in.
Yeah, they have to win tonight to stay one back from the Cubs. If for some reason they have a tie for the division, I believe they have to play that off, and I believe they might have the home field advantage for that game. And you know, they've got plenty of pitching.
I think the Cubs would have the tiebreaker there. I believe.
They would.
Yeah.
Maybe it was with St. Louis.
Yeah.
Somehow was involved.
Yeah, and St. Louis isn't going to catch him for that second wild card.
And then they got Julio Chacin, who's a veteran guy. He'd probably be their pitcher, at least get an inning in the way they do it now.
Yeah. Castellanos pokes it to center. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Castro hits the bag. Hard turn and heads to third. Great base running on the part of Harold Castro. And the Tigers have runners at the corners here in the first.
This is great base running right here. This is what everybody wants to see. Ron Gardenhire is going to love this. This young kid has come and look, he makes the best of it. He's going to give the old stop and go, kind of slows down and it just turns it on. Challenge him. Lorenzo Cain did not charge that ball that hard.
Yeah, a little surprising just because Cain is such an elite center fielder. Has 11 assists, which is second most in the league, in the National League. So rarely do people want to run on him. Here's Nico Goodrum. We mentioned the 5-game hitting streak for Goodrum. During that stretch, batting .318 and driven in 4.
Nico's doing a good job there. You know, keep that energy, you know, under control. In the driver's seat, 2 balls and no strikes. Man at first and third. You definitely do not want to overswing, hit one on the ground.
Swings through it, 2-1. You mentioned the ground here at Miller Park. It's a beautiful facility. It is natural grass. It's a retractable roof, but the grass does get a little thin. It does get a little warm. They've tried to air it out a little bit, and it's a quick infield too, isn't it, Gibby?
Yeah, it's a little shorter than most, harder underneath. They leave it open, shut it about 2:45 every day. They have lights on it, so that'll grow, and they try and keep the ground warm enough.
It only takes them 30 minutes to close the roof. You and I were down there reflecting on the last time the Brewers were in the playoffs, 2011, and you were in the visitors' dugout and telling your team about this infield grass and how to play this field a little bit more expertly.
Well, you just want to take a look at these fields that are dome fields. They're 3-2 now. It looks like something off speed. You want to go, these field conditions change quite a bit on these fields. They don't get enough sun, you know, they don't get enough water. You can see it's a nice green field, been fertilized, it's in pretty good shape. But when you get to the end of the year like this, there are areas that are a little lighter than they look on TV.
Payoff pitch to Goodrum. Fought it off.
You got to really play the lips in front of each first and third base. That ball hits right there where the grass ends and the dirt starts. Take a bad hop on you. This, you can see that it may look straight, but there are definitely divots along the way.
Back up the middle, just a slow roller, and everybody's safe.
This is Good fortune for the Tigers. Of course, he runs so good. Makes Arcia rush it. Can't get a grip. It's a do or die play. The Tigers now have first and second with a run in.
Nico Goodrum's 50th RBI of the year. Still only one out. And here's Jim Adduci. Adduci just 3 homers on the year. One of those in interleague play.
Boy, Davies' fastball really tailing away at the end. He cannot get it on the plate, though. It's good for the Tigers, and they're going to be patient and not swinging it.
Brewers sure take advantage of this, what Gibby calls a bandbox. 3 in the lineup today with 30 homers or more. 4 with 25 or more. Adduci reaches out, pokes it wide of first. It's going to get through. Castellanos will score. The line keeps on churning. 2-0 Tigers with runners at the corners again.
Well, again, this ball's on the outside, and it just finds a hole. Look, you can see there it is. That's, you got that first baseman holding the runner. And the Brewers were shifted over the other way. Fortunate that Tigers get another hit. That's their 4th hit already, and their 2nd run.
2 points. What did you say? What did you say about 4 hits in a row, 4 good at bats in a row? Good things are going to happen.
Yeah, we've been preaching that.
Yeah.
Multiple runs.
Yeah, been saying it all year long, and Detroit's got a crooked number on the board already. James McCann hopes to follow suit. Didn't play in the series finale against Minnesota last night, but did play Wednesday and went 2 for 3. 3 for 7 on the road trip against the Twins. Reaches for the first offering. 0-1.
Didn't look like James saw that pitch very well right there.
Doesn't necessarily have the numbers that he wanted, but Ron Gardenhire has been really impressed with his grit, his toughness, his ability to battle. 0-2 to him. That RBI double that he had in Minnesota in that series down the right field line, if you recall, was after he was behind 0-2.
Yeah, I just think James is right on the edge of really getting in the groove, I thought. So you just got to convince yourself you're good. Maybe track a pitch, really get yourself settled down.
Just outside, 1-2 to him.
That free, I mean, if it's a strike, it's a strike. Whether you swing at a strike good, bad, or indifferent, you take it, it's still just a strike. Got to convince yourself of that. Quick inside there. They're throwing him mostly away. Outside corner, sliders away. Umpires today. Alfonso Marquez at home plate. DJ Rayburn at first. Sam Holbrook second. And Woofy at third base.
We'll get that umpire scouting report from Gibby a little bit later on. Alfonso Marquez.
He's the most hitter-friendly full-time up in MLB year in and year out.
There you go. That quick.
And
that concise.
He's solid.
2-2 to James McCann.
He's up 4 of the last 5 postseasons. That means MLB likes him. Zim's never started a regular season game until this September. He allowed 0 runs in that start 5 innings.
Pitch number 25 of the inning for Zach Davies. And it's full. What were we just talking about with Ron Gardenhire and the battle? And there's the breakdown of Zach Davies. Again, that ratio, not appealing.
It is to us.
Absolutely. The 2-0 lead even more appealing. 4 singles for the Tigers to string 2 runs home. And they're not done yet. Another one through the left side. James McCann delivers an RBI single. 3-0 Detroit.
Let's take a look at the Tigers. It's you see right there, he's down and away, down and away, down and away. James stays on, doesn't pull off. And another ground ball hit for the Tigers. We'll take it. 3 runs on the board, 5 hits, and there's been 6 ground balls to start this game.
What is it we were talking about with Ron Gardenhire regarding Milwaukee's usage of the bullpen? And when you think you might see the first reliever, what the difference in the scoreboard may read.
1 more hit. Right now, I would say they're going to see a reliever. But, you know, they may be content with just not worrying about this game, but I thought they would.
I'd be surprised if they weren't worried about this game. They are quickly getting a couple of arms ready out there.
Yep, they're going to have 1 to get out of the inning, probably, and then another to come in.
Brandon Woodruff warming up. Here's Jacoby Jones waiting on an 0-2 pitch. Got him looking. Second out of the inning.
Probably looking for the slider. Got the heater right at the top.
Eighth batter of the inning, Victor Reyes. Grounded to short. Aguiar unassisted. And the Tigers are done, but they plate 3 on 5 base hits for a good start in Milwaukee. Starting pitcher is Jordan Zimmerman, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Just want to make a point here about Zim. He went from a 2-strike guy to a 3-strike guy in a much better fashion this season, meaning he's getting a lot more strikeouts when he gets ahead in the count. That'll be very important. With 2 strikes, average against is only 178, so He's been throwing a lot of strikes, been throwing the ball better, and getting more swing and misses. So let's hope that he finishes strong here on his 25th start of the year.
From Auburndale, Wisconsin, here's the Brewers batting order presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Lorenzo Cain leads off, a career best 400 on base percentage. Jesus Aguilar is #1 in home run ratio in the National League, and Mike Moustakas came over from Kansas City at the end of July, batted .249 in KC. Better numbers here in Milwaukee. Here's the defense for the Tigers, presented by McLaren Health Plan.
We have Reyes, Jones, and Castellanos across the outfield. Candy, Goodrum, Castro, that's Harold Castro, and Ducey across the infield. McCann's catching Jordan Zimmerman.
What do you think a starting pitcher's mindset is when they got a 3-spot to start the game?
Feel good. Nice and loose, relaxed. I think everybody's feeling good about themselves overall. You know, the hitters as well. There's a good first slider. You look at that slider, you can see how it just came right out of his hand on the break. No hump in it.
Cain, a .297 career hitter against the Tigers. 7 homers and 27 RBIs with all those years in Kansas City. Scalded. And a base hit to right. And now you faced one of the best hitters in all of baseball in Christian Yelich, and he is Chevrolet's most dependable player. You see where he ranks since the All-Star break in the majors.
Listen to this crowd. Standing O. MVP. Good to keep an eye on Cain, 30 bags.
You know, he gets so much attention for his offense, Gibby. I know how much you like Christian Yelich as a defensive player and as a base runner.
Yeah, he runs. He's filled out nicely since he came up with the Marlins.
Launched to right center. High fly ball, deep, way back and gone. Christian Yelich, the oldest of 3 brothers, his youngest brother, here throwing out the first pitch in the game tonight and putting on a show already with his 34th homer of the year.
Fastball low in the zone. He hit it, and boy did it jump off with his bat. Brew Crew swinging it.
The 34 homers by Yelich ties Jesus Aguilar for 3rd in the National League and tied for the team lead. Aguilar's caught standing. 1 down.
Take a look here at the pitch. This is a fastball low, middle in. He just smokes it. He's been hitting everything. Statcast 109 miles per hour. That 35-degree launch angle. He's has one of the greater launch angles in the league. Average 417 feet.
Statcast AI powered by AWS. Travis Shaw, no slouch with 31 homers on the season. He's a very powerful 2, 3, and 4 hitter. Pops this one up, shallow right. Out goes Castro, 2 down. And here's Ryan Braun. Gibby had talked about Christian Yelich being in the running, and legitimately so, for the National League Most Valuable Player honors. Well, Ryan Braun has an MVP. It's 2011.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the Tigers are going to have to pitch inside this series, or it will be a long series. These guys really, you let them get out and control that plate. I'm not trying to start anything here. I'm just saying you have to pitch the whole plate.
Big swing, 0-2 to Braun. Braun is 5 for 14. That's a .357 batting average in his career against Jordan Zimmerman.
He's talking about in the open, there's going to be a level of intensity. You can already see the Brewers.
Pounded to left center. We are tied. Number 19 for Braun. And the playing field's leveled. The Brewers have now scored 111 runs in the first inning. Most of any inning for Milwaukee.
Like I was saying before the ball went out of the park, you have a level of intensity. You can say you were talking about how loose they are, but they are really feeling comfortable in there. You're going to have to.
Castro takes care of business, but a couple of homers, one from Yelich and the other from Ryan Braun. And Jordan Zimmerman fails to hold a 3-0 lead. We head to the second here in Milwaukee, all square. Well over 200 homers by this ball club. Those two big bombers have tied it. We're even at 3. Jordan Zimmerman, who gave up those gopher balls, leads off here in the second, followed by Candelario and Castro. See how that inspires Zach Davies here. Davies threw 30 pitches in the first. Gave up 5 singles and 3 runs.
That's filthy for a pitcher who hasn't hit all year. Lots of sliders, Davies.
Strike 3 to Jordan Zimmerman.
Let's take a look at our bell tire pitch by pitch. Tigers come right out in the first inning. A little bit of good fortune, put the bat on the ball. 5 singles. Actually, there was another one that we don't have on this pack, I believe. But just dunking in there. This one right here, they would beat this out. But they also ran the bases very well, very aggressively. Ended up getting 3 runs out of this first inning. So a good start for Detroit. Unfortunately, the Brewers have come back and tied it. And we said it's going to be kind of a rabid environment. And we found out in the first inning already that the Brewers are ready to play.
Yeah, this place is packed. They've got a great feel for their team, and for good reason. It's a team that has 92 wins this year, 48 of them here in this barn. Jamer Candelario led off the game with a ground ball to short. 2 for 12 on the road trip. Worked the count 2-2. Third strikeout looking posted by Zach Davies tonight.
Yeah, I'm guessing this one probably swings back. Looks like it's going to come in and be off the plate, and then it just tails back. Got caught looking for something else. See, Davies has really come out aggressive. Has forgotten about that first inning. The 3 runs on the 2 home runs is re-energized his approach.
Harold Castro singled and scored. Got things rolling for the Tigers in the first. The Brewers 48 home wins, by the way, 2 more than they had all of last year already. To second base, Travis Shaw takes care of business, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Zach Davies. ticket holders, renew your season tickets now through October 18th and enter the 30 prizes in 30 days raffle with a chance to win a private meet and greet with Ron Gardenhire, 2019 Tigers road trip to Atlanta, autographed memorabilia, and much more. Restrictions do apply. For more information, call or text 313-471-2255 or visit tigers.com/seasons. Larger version of Magnum PI.
Because of the stash?
The sunglasses, the shirt more than anything else.
Magnum's a big Tigers fan.
Oh yeah, Tom Selleck is huge. Sticks out in the crowd.
Is that natural, that mustache?
I don't think so.
Let's take a look.
I don't think so. You look back on your mustache days and think, oh, why didn't I shave that? Or did you like it?
No, it was perfect.
Because I look back on my mustache days and I think, how in the world did I keep that as long as I did? I should have been shaven off a long time ago. Because it was awful.
What's awful?
It just didn't look good.
It's called El Natural. No dye going through my lips.
Nor mine at the time. we both had the bristly mustaches. You could probably grow yours in a day and a half.
It's just white.
How about this guy right there, Grizzly Adams
II.
The
Grizzly Santa beard.
Yeah. Just stores away lunch a little bit, you know.
Keeps it warm.
Eric Kratz is the catcher. They got him from the Yankees back in May. 3-2 to him.
He's begging for that, really? That'd be right there.
Probably because he's 0 for 8 in his career against them. That's a perfect pitch.
Good frame job there, too, by McCann.
Stroke to center. Tailing away from Jacoby Jones, but he's got no problem with it. One quick out here in the second. Stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, where we'll select the Tigers player of the game on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by McDonald's.
Every fly ball that goes up in this place, I told you it was a box.
Yeah,
didn't it?
you're right. It does. It has a feel to it like it's going to carry.
It does.
Well, how is it different with the roof closed than the roof open?
Well, I mean, it's warmed up quite a bit since they've closed the roof.
Yeah.
So heat's probably better. Get that convective activity, the field warming up, and then the air waves kind of rise to the top, so it carries.
Base hit for Orlando Arcia. And a one-out man-on-first situation for Milwaukee. Those panels, by the way, that you just saw behind the big advertisement billboards do open. And I would guess that aids the hitters a little bit, doesn't it, Gibby?
It can. It just depends where the wind's going. It's like anything else. It's a mixture of atmospheric conditions and temperature, and how many people behind home plate are blowing towards center field.
Helping
serious.
It. Okay. Zach Davies, the pitcher, stands in.
Now, see, we do this early break. Let's take a look at this from the high infield spot. We can. You have that first baseman. As soon as the guy comes set, he runs. He runs in here, gets right in there on him. Third baseman crashes. You go to second base with the throw. So let's leave it right there again. So he goes. He's right here. He goes. He's right here. And you're going. You can go to second base with that throw, or this guy could come behind. No early break there.
Candelario in really tight at third. 1-1 to the pitcher. As a pitcher, when you see someone square, especially that early, you want to throw a rising fastball, something high in the zone that maybe forces them to pop it up.
Yeah. The jam. If you're the pitcher swinging and they come way in, like Candy, I'd get way in there. Get right in there, pressure him. Way in there.
Walking in. Lays the bunt down. Zimmerman calmly throws to first, 2 down.
That's why I like that early break. You get in there like that, you make him almost swing the bat. Little change up there, it looked like. But it's a pretty good bunt. And Zim did a good job. Just make sure he fields it and takes a nice, accurate throw. That's National League ball there at its best.
As a bench coach with Alan Trammell in Detroit, then a bench coach in Arizona before you took over the Arizona Diamondbacks, did you play a different style, do you think?
In the team?
Yeah.
Everybody has their own personal touches.
Lorenzo Cain singled and scored on the Christian Yelich homer.
You know, like you watch a guy like Joe Madden, what he does. Yeah, I like the 5-man infield. We were prepared to do that. I like the safety squeeze, which was a Madden trait. And I like the early break, which was a St. Louis trait, Tony La Russa. Albert Pujols at first base was really good.
But do you think La Russa managed any differently in Oakland than he did in St. Louis? Did you think Joe Madden manages differently in Chicago than he did in Tampa?
I think it depended on his personnel, but the things we just talked about, you know, regardless of where they were, they had them in their arsenal to use.
1-2 to Lorenzo Cain.
Garcia is really getting off.
Yeah, big secondary lead, huh?
Yep. If you have a good inside move, you can get him.
You think he's just timing Zimmerman with this?
Yeah, watch him. Yeah. Pull out here a little bit.
Foul back.
Very aggressive. Good guy to. He's got 2 out, so you just have to worry about it getting doubled off, so you get way out.
Cain third in the National League in hitting coming into the game, .310. Already with a base hit here tonight. Checked his swing. Didn't go.
McCann trying to pick it and sell it.
Why not?
Yeah, it can't hurt.
Cain is 7th in the National League in hitting with runners in scoring position. Batting .322. Very productive as a leadoff man. 10 homers, 37 runs driven in. 2-2 pitch to him. High and wide, and it's full.
Pitching away quite a bit. The next time they do sequence inside, you got to double it up in. So if you can come in right here and Cain fouls it off, come right back in there.
Popped up foul. Ducey, does he have room?
No.
Runs out. We talked in the open about why this is important for Ron Gardenhire's young team to play in this type of atmosphere with a packed house, a team that feels like it has to win if it wants to win the division.
Yeah, and again, I think you play against a team that makes good plays. You understand you have to make the same plays, and again, intensity-wise, you have to be prepared. You can't just be out there relaxed, thinking, well, you know, we're out of it. Doesn't really matter. It does matter. You still have to take great pride. We should try to sweep the Brewers. Like, challenge yourself, right?
Absolutely. They started out well. To second base. Castro gets the Tigers out of it. We remain tied through 2 in Milwaukee. the best hitting performances for the Tigers this season. Nicholas Castellanos on August 13th against the visiting White Sox had his first ever 5-hit game, going 5 for 5 with a homer and 5 RBIs. That night capped by a 2-run homer in the 7th to put the Tigers ahead of Chicago 6-4. They would go on and win it 9-5.
Fun day for him and the
17
Tigers.
points, and Ram picked the stick that night.
That was the night, wasn't it?
It was.
I had it the night before, and it was -4.
Of course, I need that tonight. I don't think I'm going to get it. And I could use it on Sunday, too. Still don't think I'd have enough to catch Mickey York. But I'd have enough to leapfrog Kirk Gibson. Castellanos drives one to center, and a running catch by Lorenzo Cain.
Lorenzo Cain, he can run him down. He got a great jump there, perfectly played. It hit rocket L8 in the scorebook. That's what I put in. What do you put?
Cain covers a lot of ground. We talk about Jacoby Jones's defensive run save. Lorenzo Cain is the best in the National League at that. Here's Nico Goodrum. Little infield single to score a run first time up. Goodrum in interleague play this year, 304 with a couple of homers and now 6 RBIs. Ron Gardner has talked this year about how Goodrum and Candelario kind of extend his lineup, lengthen it when they're in there. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Kristen Stewart in there tonight. Listed day-to-day with an injury.
Nico came in at 16 home runs, 49 RBI. He does have 1 RBI today, so he's at 50, hitting 240, a little over now. And I think he's a bit of a surprise. I'd call it a good year, but also would say that he could be much better by using this experience. He is very versatile, good kid, runs the bases well, but I don't know, do you see him as a utility guy in the future or an everyday player? That's yet to be determined.
Yeah, that's the question he can help them answer. Popped it up, left side of the infield. Moustakas drifting near the stands, now coming back to make the grab. Actually, that's the shortstop, Orlando Arcia. So there's 2 down. If Detroit combines for 3 or more homers in this game, bring in a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com.
Did you see Arcia coming back right at the end? I mean, it was pretty considerable, right?
Yeah.
What do you think that feels like when you run over there, you're in the shift, all of a sudden you're saying, oh boy.
It must feel concerning.
A little rush, you know what I'm saying? And this ball is going to be way over here, and then it's going to come way back this way at the end.
Jim Adducci's in an 0-2 hole. RBI single in the first. Zach Davies working quickly.
Davies is coming in quite a bit on the Tigers recently. It's down and in, trying to back him off. Now where does he go? Does he go back away?
Popped up.
Change up
This
away.
time it's Moustakas. And a second straight 1-2-3 inning for the Milwaukee starter, Zach Davies. yesterday, the Yankees homered 4 times against the Rays. 2 of them coming off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton left Florida. Christian Yelich left Florida as well. And you see what he's been able to do. A cycle, not once but twice this year. The only player to do it against the same team in the same season, and just the 5th player to ever hit for the cycle twice in a year.
So, who do you pick going into the playoffs as having the most impact for their team? You can pick Stanton. You can pick
I would take Yelich.
How about between Stanton and J.D. Martinez?
J.D. Martinez.
See, the thing that I think Stanton, I watch some of these games, he's susceptible to a good slider. So,
well, what's Giancarlo Stanton susceptible to?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you said J.D. My fault.
No, he's going to be. I said going against J.D. If you pick between those two.
Yeah.
Say J.D. stays on that slider a little better. Giancarlo tends to pull off it a little bit. But Yankee Stadium, boy, it's a bandbox.
Yeah, it sure is.
Right center, especially.
But it's not like Fenway's big, right? Down the lines. I mean, the high wall, of course, the green monster for Martinez, but he has no problem going the opposite way for home runs.
You know, sometimes it changes and it flies, sometimes it doesn't. I was reading an article and hard hit balls, and CC Sabathia, who looked like he was done 5 years ago.
Sure did. You're right.
He's right up there with soft hit balls. I mean, he just learned how to pitch.
3-1 to Christian Yelich, who's trying to become the 5th player ever to win an MVP as a Brewer. He'll take the free pass. Riley Fingers won it in 81. Robin Yount in 82. Yount again in 89, and Ryan Braun in 2011. Remember, Robin Yount, though, he won the MVP the first time as a shortstop. The second time, he won it as a center fielder.
Yeah, he's talented, and him, Molly, and Robin Yount on the same team. That team was talented. Yelich likes to run. He's got over 20 bags. Doesn't get caught very often.
Yeah, 21 for 25 in the stolen base category for Christian Yelich.
84%.
Aguilar rips one to left. Aguilar, good thing to hold him to a single. Time now for the DT Energy Know Your Own Power, because he has plenty of power. His 34 homers, 3rd most in the National League.
A lot of really big names. Matt Carpenter leads. Trevor Story, what a story that is. Nolan Arenado in Colorado was Story. And Baez from Chicago.
Yelich with that homer in the 1st. Ties Aguilar and others with 34, 3rd most in the league. Runners at 1st and 2nd for Travis Shaw, who isn't far behind them with 31.
Who are we comparing with Baez straight up? We had a conversation recently. Who would be the next closest thing to him as far as what they can do, ability they have to produce? These are game creating run producers.
Yeah, Baez, the other name mentioned in this National League MVP race.
Here we go. We got a list. MVP front runners. I like Nolan. He's a great player. Javier Baez, Yelich. Who do you pick? Look at the wars down there. Yelich has the biggest war right around 7, just a little below.
I'm not sure you can go wrong. You know, I mean, you look at that and you think, wow, any of those guys could win it. Although I would say this, there is one name that wasn't on that list that you could make a legitimate case for too, and that's Trevor Story in Colorado. What he's done so far this year. Story's young.
And he almost got hurt. They thought he was going to be out, right?
Yeah. Got 35 homers and 105 RBIs. He also has 26 steals for Colorado. Slugging it at over 560. He's definitely in the conversation. Shaw waits on the 1-2 pitch from Zimmerman. Second straight year Travis Shaw has had 20 homers or more with 80 runs driven in or better. And he's got an open stance, and then he still strides toward the pitcher. Remember Brian Downing?
Oh yeah,
He used to do
Angels. Yeah, he broke out K-Line's errorless streak. I was at a game prior to that when he made an error and they didn't call it an error.
Home cooking, Gibby?
Yeah, it was really home. There was a home grilling.
Two and two to Shaw. Big strikeout for Jordan Zimmerman, his second of the day.
That is a big out. Now we'll bring up Ryan Braun. First pitch in his first at bat. I've seen too many of these. Been on the wrong side, and so did the Tigers. That tied it up at 3. And again, the Brewers are threatening with one out here in the second.
You know, I saw these numbers about Ryan Braun. The biggest surprise for me was that he was #1 in home runs.
And he can play. He can hit.
1-0 to him.
He's a very smart hitter. You throw the kitchen sink at him, somehow he pulls it off.
Brewers have had some really good home run hitters. Greg Vaughn, Ben Ogilvy, Cecil Cooper, Gorman Thomas. Robin Young has 251
Molitor
in his career. Yeah. Prince Fielder, 230 as a member of the Brewers. But it's Braun on top by a wide margin. 321 after going deep in the first. Deep to center. Jones drifting back. Got some room. 2 down. Yelich tags and moves to third. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game. Here's Mike Moustakas. Moustakas coming over in the trade with Kansas City and joining ex-teammate Lorenzo Cain in the starting lineup. Game number 51 for him as a Brewer. Batting .250 with the Brew Crew. 8 homers and 31 runs driven in.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he was. Well, he is at his peak. He's still a real good player, very smart.
Good fielder, too, at third base. He was ridiculed for that early in his career.
Looks a little big right now, but he's a good player all around, a gamer. There's the Brett Phillips.
Yeah, we've seen some Brett Phillips, haven't we?
Yep.
In that Kansas City, and really good outfielder, good strong arm, but has a long way to go offensively. Up and down for Lopez, too. This one punched to center. Long run for Jones. It's going to drop. And the Brewers have their lead. A throw to third, and a good play by Jacoby Jones to nab Aguilar.
Don't run on Jacoby.
But the Brewers take the lead on the RBI single from Mike Moustakas. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. McCann will lead things off for the Tigers. Zach Davies has settled in nicely. He's retired 7 in a row. Make it 8, rather. Couldn't retire James McCann, who singled back in the first.
Tigers couldn't contain Mike Moustakas, who got a little looper for go-ahead RBI. He's always seems to hurt us, doesn't he?
For some reason or another, they got the shift played perfectly for
Now,
James McCann.
We always talk about cutting the inning off, okay? Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is a good play. Ball goes into Jacoby. Moustakas hits it. And you don't like try and pick it up and try and make a throw. You take your time and you make a good throw. So you look it up here. Jacoby's coming in, and he gets it, and he calmly sees the runner trying to advance to third. He takes his time, makes a good throw.
Man, that's a really good.
He's toast. That's his 8th assist of the year. Inning over. You're down by a run, inning over. You know, if you don't catch that ball, if you don't take your time and you throw it errantly and the guy makes it, maybe they get a hit. And then the previous 2 games, they've given up 2 5-run innings, and they cut that one off. That's good.
If you don't have your head up on a play like that, you don't make it. I mean, you always talk about the eyes of players. That's a perfect example. He's got his eyes up, looking at what's going on, understanding the situation, and that's a really good throw on the run. That's like a quarterback running toward the line of scrimmage and throwing downfield.
He's very good at that. Very, very good. And he just took his time and wanted to make sure he made an accurate one-hop throw, something that was easy. It was a very easy hop to catch. You don't rush it. You didn't have to rush that. You rush it, who knows where it goes. It's a real art to throwing a one hop to your target. Usually it's one hop so it can be low enough that it can get cut.
Jones grounds one to short. 2 down. Mickey York with a Call Sam update. Yeah, I was talking with a friend of mine who works for Northwestern, and he said you would never believe how many Tiger fans there are here in Chicago today, Mick, because everybody pulling for the Tigers, of course, to beat the Brewers here. And Chris Bryant, now that he's healthy, adds to that lineup that features Rizzo and Zobrist and Murphy and Baez and Hayward. Victor Reyes grounded to first to end the first last time up.
Well, the Brewers, they're trying to beat everybody. They've won 4 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Almost as hot as Colorado, who's won their last 7. They are also 7-3. You really never know what's going to happen down the stretch.
They've also won 10 of their last 11 series.
Who's the manager? Counselor.
Yep. Greg Counsell, as we mentioned, in his 4th year, 312 wins.
Almost got somebody, didn't it?
Joe Vavra and Nico Goodrum. You know, the Brewers hitting coach is Darnell Coles.
Ex-Tiger, ex-teammate.
Played for the Tigers in 86, 87, and 1990.
Also a Pirate.
And a Mariner.
Call him DC.
Played for a number of teams, yeah. Another foul back from Victor Reyes.
We have a good organ here, and they also have a good radio guy.
It's a little like a hockey organ, isn't it?
Yeah. The radio guy sits way up top, remember? In cheap seats.
Bob Euchre, sure.
Way up there.
You remember that commercial too, huh?
Yep, yep.
Man,
He's
he
pretty funny
parlayed
guy.
that into something, didn't he?
This is funny.
Yeah.
Here he is.
There it is. Speed in the front row. Reyes is battling. That was the 10th pitch of that at bat. Let's do 12.
Brewers pitchers in the pen are all down there. They're just stretched around, getting loosened up, doing their dynamic warm-ups. Must be having an anticipation of a 4 or 5 inning stint for Davies.
Victor Reyes is just on it. Spoiling. Waiting for his. Lorenzo Canis wide left center field. A tapper to first. Aguilar tosses. Nice cover by Davies. 3rd straight inning for Davies to set down the Tigers in order. tomorrow on FS1 and Fox starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. MSU hosts Central Michigan. Then Michigan looks to continue their recent stretch of dominance as they take on Northwestern. It's all on FS1 and Fox, or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. Gibby and I have that wager between our alma maters, Michigan State and Central Michigan. And then
It's got to be at State, right? They
oh
would
yeah,
always play.
right.
They got to go for the bigger crowd.
They would never go to Kelly Shorts. I'm sure they would have the guts to go to Kelly Shorts.
What do you mean have the guts? Are you serious?
I was wondering.
I'm going to tell Mark D'Antoni you said that.
I was wondering when you would catch on that, and it wasn't long. Meanwhile, Michigan has beaten Northwestern 32 of the last 36 times, by the way.
You guys are going to the game tomorrow?
I think we're going to make a road trip. We'll give it a shot. Float your name around, see if somebody will let us in.
Now, what's the name of that stadium down there in Northwestern?
It's an old friend of ours, Ryan Field. That's where they play at Northwestern. Eric Kratz leads things off for the Brewers. Quickly in a 1-2 hole. Flied out to center on a 3-2 pitch back in the second.
Sim came into this inning 36 strikes out of 57 pitches. He really hasn't been behind in the count. He's left a couple fastballs up.
This one hit deep to right. Castellanos has room and makes the grab a couple of feet from the wall.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. You can see the games that matter. Brewers are a game and a half behind. Cardinals a game and a half behind as well. The Rockies have a 1-game lead in the West, and they hold that over the Dodgers. And they came out of nowhere. They won 7 in a row.
Got to be a little disappointing for the Dodgers, considering they had swept Colorado not too long ago.
Yeah, but that Colorado team, they're in Colorado as well, aren't they?
They are a different team there, aren't they?
They play really well. Really well.
Tyler Saladino on deck for Milwaukee, ready to hit for Zach Davies, whose night appears to be over. Garcia had a single, but was left stranded at second back in the second.
They saw Zim right there. He wanted that pitch. Kind of let Alfonso behind the plate know it. See how he reacts.
Garcia punches one to left. Long run for Reyes, won't get there. He's going to go up against the wall. Garcia has himself a 2-for-2 night.
Yeah, I know he's frustrated because he thought he had the call the pitch before. This slider here doesn't get as good of a grip on it, and it hangs a little bit. This is the pitch that Jordan thought was a strike. Went through the zone, he felt. And then the next pitch, he left this one up a little bit. He gets whacked.
Domingo Santana instead will now pinch hit rather than Saladino.
National League game, you gotta, many times you coordinate with your pitcher spot down there. You don't want a double switch. Now you see quite a few double switches, but that's really not ideal.
Explain the double switch for folks.
Well, a double switch, let's just say your pitcher's in, your number 5 hitter's up, and you need to take your pitcher out, but you run out of players. So you double switch. You flip the pitcher and the position player that you're putting in. The position player goes in the bottom of the order. The pitcher goes in where he's protected from at least 2 innings of having to hit. Unless you hit around, and who cares that? But the reason you don't like to do that is because you want to have the flexibility, because if you knew what the situation would be, you'd know who to put in there, what player, right?
Right, absolutely.
And if you knew who, you don't know whether the guy's going to be leading off the inning, whether he's going to come up there with 2 men on base, where the inning's going to end. You always want to have the flexibility. That's why many times guys will just bite the bullet and just go ahead and put a new pitcher in, and if he comes up. Because when you get that situation, you're going to have to hit for your pitcher. You want to put the hitter that you know can be the most successful and give you the greatest gain by entering the game.
2-2 to Santana. Santana just 2 for 12 as a pinch hitter this year. One of those hits a homer.
Full count, 1 down.
To center. That'll get a run home. 5-3 Brewers.
These Brewers, you can see they strung quite a few hits together already in this game. Hit home runs early, and here's the 3-2 slider. Look at how he stays on this pitch. Watch the bat. It goes right up the middle. Does not pull off. Easily another run. Garcia comes around.
Big reason why this team is so successful. They do so many things well in so many different situations. There's Lorenzo Cain. 1 for 2 with a run scored. Hard swing at one, but it's fouled away. And talking with a lot of Brewers prior to the game today, they talked about some of the simple things. Look, you catch it, you throw strikes, you take the extra bases, you're going to be successful more oftentimes than not. Sounds simple, but it is a remedy for success.
It keeps the pressure on your opponent, and it breaks their back, breaks their heart. You know, they keep pushing. You make plays that they don't expect to be. You don't give them anything. It's easy when somebody makes an error, or you get a walk, or you hit a guy. So if you had a walk and a hit batsman with 2 hits in between, you got some runs. Kane 30 bags at the plate, and want to keep him off the bases.
Good speed, and has always been a very heads-up base runner. 1-2 to him now.
See how he's trying to beat that shift. 100% right there.
Trying to go the opposite way.
Oh, absolutely. See how late he waited? He just totally lets this ball get so deep with the it's almost in the catcher's glove. He's trying to hit the other way. Tigers have made a little adjustment.
Quick wrists. Got him swinging.
Boy, Zim. Nice elevation away, and Lorenzo Cain can't catch up. They love Yelich.
Well, they should. Played for Team USA in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Won a gold medal. Made his first All-Star team this year.
Just think, if you're a Brewer fan, what did you think when they picked up Christian Yelich? Think, oh man, this is really good?
You know, they might not have known a whole lot about him.
Yeah, I don't think.
And you could probably, Gibby, argue the same thing about the Brewers this year. How many people know enough about this team? Big swing to make it 1-1.
Well,
it's a sense I got from their clubhouse. Where they obviously knew I was from Detroit, and they had asked me. Eric Kratz actually asked me, when did you start hearing about Christian Yelich as an MVP candidate? Or did you hear about Javier Baez first? He said, because we've known he's an MVP caliber all along. And so I do think they play with a little chip on their shoulder because of the market in which they play and the limited coverage they get nationally. And listen, if that makes you perform better, if that keeps your focus, preach it. In tight 3-1.
Well, you look at Yelich, the end of April, he's hitting 271, okay? 307 at the end of May, 289 at the end of June. So you're thinking, well, you know, he's having a good year, right?
Yeah.
Then at the end of July, 321.
Right, just takes off.
317 at the end of August, and now he's started at 321 again.
Another walk for him.
He's got a walk and a knock. Big knock.
And he scored 2 runs. Not much breath in the top 5 hitters in this Milwaukee lineup. Rick Anderson needs to have a chat with Jordan Zimmerman.
Maybe just give him a blow. Let him take a break before he has to get up there against Aguilar.
Well, support the Detroit Tigers Foundation's annual Favorite Things auction featuring unique items from some of your favorite Tigers from now until October 8th. Bid on gift baskets featuring watches, concert tickets, autographed memorabilia, and more. To bid and for more information, visit tigers.auctions.mlb.com. Rick Anderson told you before the game today that our staff is going to have to be aggressive. They have to pitch inside. They must command the inner part of the plate, no matter who's up there. Has Jordan Zimmerman done that to your satisfaction as Blaine Hardy warms?
Yeah, I think he's thrown a couple in there, but the mistakes he's made, they've hit out of the ballpark. Yelich's first home run was down and out over the plate, maybe a little in, inner third of the plate.
Ryan Braun on that 0-2 pitch, right?
Yeah, but Braun hit that was out over the plate as well.
Yes.
I mean, these guys, you can tell, they swing good. They don't pull off the ball.
You don't want them to extend their arms, you said, during your conversation with Rick Anderson.
Well, I don't want them being off the plate and then diving over the plate, because that's a good way to drive the ball. Want them not to think about not diving over the plate. And unfortunately, you got to throw inside sometimes. You might clip a guy.
Fouled away to make it 1-1.
But you can't be afraid of that. I mean, you're not doing it to hit him. You're doing it to open up the outside part of the plate for yourself. But if you do hit him, then whatever. And you're not trying to hurt him, but you can't not throw inside because you don't want to hit him. You got to think about how it opens the plate up. How you might get him out in there if you get a swing.
1-2 to Aguilar, who was an all-star this year. First time in his career.
See that swing right there?
Yeah.
I mean, let her go.
Yeah, he's swinging from his heels, isn't he?
Watch him. So, little tight right there, but you got to get it. If you leave it 3 inches on the plate, you're in trouble. If it's 5 inches inside, better.
Good stop by McCann. Remember, Aguilar was in the home run derby contest, lost in the first round, despite hitting 12 bombs. Got him looking. Key comeback for Jordan Zimmerman. Auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickups on the road. And by Meridian Care, Medicare Advantage plans. Home to Harley Davidson, their headquarters here in Milwaukee. Got some friends going there tomorrow to visit. One of the cooler plants in America. Brandon Woodruff is the new pitcher for the Brewers. A wall-side windows pitching change.
Yeah, they're going to start going through and matching up inning by inning with the Tigers. Brandon Woodruff, see, he had 40 in the third innings. Strikeout to walk ratio, pretty decent. He's only allowed 4 home runs. So the Tigers have quite a few lefties in the lineup. They have, what, 3 of them. They got a Ducey. So he'll probably, it comes down to it, they're going to try and force Gardy to burn a guy off the bench. But you do have several switch hitters, but like Candy's got severe splits. Castro's a lefty, Ducey's a lefty, Victor and Goody are switch hitters.
And Jared Saltalamacchia, who's hitting here for Jordan Zimmerman. Big swing.
Ooh, he
and it's
went after
0-2.
that, didn't he?
By the way, I'm hearing from some of your Spartan fans on social media that the Spartans did play Central Michigan at CMU in 2012. I hope people know I was just kidding.
Anyway,
People get sensitive
fact
to that
checkers.
stuff. Yeah, it's just some good fun in the booth. Hang in with us. 3 pitch at bat for Jared Saltalamacchia at 1 down.
Yeah, Woodruff's pretty sneaky right there. You can see 96 mile an hour. Does have a slider. An occasional change. They like that elevation right at the top of the zone, just climbing out of it. Down he goes.
Turn the lineup over for Jamer Candelario. .258 hitter in interleague play coming into the game tonight. 0 for 2 with a grounder to short and a backward K in the scorebook in the second. .20 pitch to Candelario. 2-1 now.
Good movement off the corner there. Watch it tail right as he gets to the plate. Candy thought that was going to be right on the corner as it ran off. Then he goes the other way with the slider.
Down he goes. 2 straight strikeouts for Brandon Woodruff to start the 5th.
It's a little different than they saw in the first pitcher, Davies. Look at here, it's going to go away on the first pitch, then he's going to start coming in on him, and then looks like a cutter right on the inside part of the plate. Salty goes down. That'll bring up Harold Castro to try and start a 2-out rally for Detroit.
Castro with a tapper to first. Aguilar. And the Tigers go down quietly. A brawny inning expected from the Brewers as we head to the bottom of the 5th. We'll explain. Mookie Betts and the Red Sox will take on Aaron Judge and the Yankees. For others, it's Matt Carpenter and the Cards battling Chris Bryant and the Cubs. It all starts at 12:30 on Fox, and then tomorrow night catch the Tigers and the Brewers on FS1 and on the Fox Sports app. Jordan Zimmerman's night is through. Blaine Hardy's is just about to begin.
Well, Blaine with another appearance. Wallside Windows pitching change. See the 84 2/3 innings. He was got a good role of starting in the middle of the season. However, he had a little arm trouble, went on the disabled list. Now he's coming back. They're going to take it easy. They'd let him probably go a couple innings here tonight. It'd be the most, but he would not pitch probably back-to-back. he would be unavailable tomorrow. That's part of what you got to look at. Joe Jimenez is he's day-to-day as well. He's got a little tenderness in his arm. Is that coming in?
A little bit in front of us, Gibby.
I lost it there. I went too high.
Zimmerman exits after 85 pitches and 4 innings of work. Gave up 8 hits, 2 left the yard, 5 runs and 3 strikeouts.
Threw the ball good. He really did. Obviously, he gave up the home runs. He's going to have to figure that part out. But I think overall, Zim had a pretty good year. I think he's learned how to deal with that condition. I don't know that it ever really went away totally. And that he's probably going to have to pitch with that the rest of his career.
When you say a pitcher throws the ball well, I mean, how do you judge that? What's the evaluation? What made you say that, considering most people would look at that line and call it a failed outing?
Well, I said he threw the ball well. He's healthy. I think that's one of the first things that has to happen. You can work off of that. His release is decent. He's had good balance. He has to locate his pitches better. That's one thing that's not quite there yet. It's many of the balls that got hit hard were pitches that he missed.
Hardy with a nice start to the 5th.
But you have to do it in incrementally. You have to do that. That'll bring up Ryan Braun again in the first inning. He got in on the action. There's kind of a little slider cutter down right over the middle of the plate. That's not where Zim wanted it. And Ryan Braun, I'm not sure, there's a little celebration there when he goes across the plate.
Back in your day, that would require
music.
A statement, yeah.
You got it, didn't you?
Music, yeah, I got it. I love it too. Too many people these days don't. Braun has been really good in his career in interleague play. Coming into the game, 305 with 28 homers and 160 runs driven in. Of course, you can add 1 to each of the home run and RBI total.
McCann wanted that. He tried to pull it up and hold it. It's a little low.
Two and 2 now to Ryan Braun. Looks like he wanted that one back.
Got to give Ryan Braun credit. He's really had some success with this organization when it counts. He's hit some big home runs.
You're talking about Alfonso Marquez and his strike zone. You've been saying it's the most hitter-friendly strike zone in the bigs.
Yeah, you make it out over the middle. You got to get it out of the corner. That was a good pitch right there, up and in. Braun could only foul it off.
5 silver sluggers in his career for Ryan Braun.
I've seen Braun hit some balls that we couldn't believe he hit. We thought you had him set up. And just
maybe like that one to the right center field gap. That's got double written all over it. Castellanos plays it well off the wall. And Ryan Braun is standing at second with 1 down.
Here's his ball. It's out over, right down the middle, and he doesn't try and pull it. Look, watch this approach here. He's not trying to pull. He's not rolling over. Look at that head. He doesn't roll it. You see a lot of ground balls. We'll stop one here. We'll go side by side and let you see the difference. You roll over the top of that. It's just a ground ball. But if you stay through it, but lengthen your swing, It doesn't, and he's Blaine Hardy's not getting the call.
Braun with a couple of extra base hits tonight in scoring position for Mike Moustakas, who already has driven in one. Good pitch to make it 1-1. One and two now to Mike Moustakas. Poke to right center. Charging hard is Castellanos. It's going to drop. Braun's going to hold at third. And the Brewers have runners at the corners. Second hit of the night for Mike Moustakas. Hey, Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports app. Download the Fox Sports app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you. Made available by Oakland University.
Tigers getting a little bit of their own medicine. Remember that first inning we had those seeing eye ground ball hits?
Yeah.
Moustakas with the seeing eye right there. Nevertheless, it's a knock. Looking for the double play, aren't we?
The catcher, Eric Kratz, rips one foul down the left field line.
And he likes the first pitch in straight. $105-mile-an-hour off the bat.
Kratz batting .417 in interleague play this year, but a couple of flyouts. One to center and one to right. 0-2 to him.
Now, if you know that you're going to throw Kratz fastballs in like that, you can take and adjust your, like Nicholas Castellanos could come in on the pitch and stop those jam shots.
Punch to short. Goodrum to Castro, and the Tigers turn a much-needed double play to get out of the fifth. Tigers legend and 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Alan Trammell with his must-have item, filled in with exclusive collection of stories and photographs. It's perfect for any Tigers fan. Order a copy today by visiting tigers.com/Trammell3. Back in Milwaukee with Kirk Gibson, Johnny Kane, and our entire Fox Sports Detroit crew. I'm Matt Shepard. Time for the Bernstein Advantage. Nick Castellanos has it in interleague play. It's the Bernstein Advantage. In his career, really impressive numbers. 2 of those homers and 11 of those RBIs coming this year in interleague play. One for 2 with a run scored for Castellanos. Second inning of work for one Brandon Woodruff.
You see, it looked like a little cutter right there. Throws it fairly hard. Alex Wilson getting ready for the Tigers. See that ball run in on Nick. Wow. How'd he even hit it? Lucky didn't hit it off his leg.
Coming in at 95.
This is a hard sinker. Watch it. Disappears. And he's got the slider and the cutter to complement that going the other way.
Was Castellanos engrossed with some of the stories you were telling today? Oh my goodness. He and Alex Wilson and Jim Adducey just locked in.
Well, you're baiting him.
I know. It's because I like hearing.
Well, you lose my voice. Are you trying to tell me something?
I like to smile, I like to laugh, and I like to see the reaction of some of those players when you tell them about some of those things.
We were telling about when I ran the umpire over at home plate.
Yeah, they could not believe that.
But he stepped right in front of me.
What are you going to do, right? That was at Tiger Stadium, by the way, with Lou Whitaker on first. Gibby hit one about 440 feet straight away center field after he left the yard, left the roof, left the building. Pitch before against Mike Brown. Castellanos strikes out.
So if you're running home and you're coming down this baseline right here, and Lou Whitaker's ahead of me, he gets called out. The umpire steps right across this line in front of me. What are you going to do? Stop? No, you go through him to the plate.
Go around him? Leap
Not
over him?
no. Well, he stepped right in front of me. It's like he pulled out in front of me in a car.
It doesn't mean you hit the guy with the car, though. You try to avoid him.
Stop.
Huh?
Actually,
a car crash at home plate.
No, actually, when you're in a car, like if a deer run out in front of you or something, you're supposed to go straight. You don't want to swerve. That's how you get in trouble. Roll over.
What if an umpire jumps out in front of you?
You got to go through.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, you don't want to roll over. Protect yourself.
Goodrum slams one to center, right at Kane. 2 outs for the Tigers. Just to finish that story, the home plate umpires back then had the extra baseballs in a pocket holder on their hip, and when you ran over that umpire, all those baseballs fell out of that pocket. Ralph Hulk, who was upset because he thought Rich Gedman actually tagged you, was complaining, and the first base umpire came in to call you safe because Gedman had allegedly dropped the ball, but Hulk said all those balls
There's
on the
6
ground.
balls
Yeah,
on
right.
the ground. They all came out of his pouch. They have that pouch on their hip, the umpires, and they hold them all. And in the contact, the ball came out.
Actually,
Yeah,
Alfonso Marquez has
They
one.
all
There you
came
go.
out of that little pouch there.
Good shot, fellas.
So Kenny Kaiser, bless his heart. Oh, it's nasty right there. Woodruff's thrown the ball very well. That slider just disappears. 80 mile an hour from a 96 mile an hour fastball. He throws that 2-seamer away.
Tough to lay off it. Jim Adducey 1 for 2 today. A run driven in, his 21st RBI of the year.
Tigers since The first has been totally shut down, trying to get something going here.
4 straight 1-2-3 innings for Brewers pitching. Woodruff's got good stuff, man. 97 miles per hour on that last fastball. A high heater. A slow tapper to first. And another 1-2-3 inning. 5 straight, which the Brewers pitching staff reigns. Your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Gibby would waste the sausage factory race. But I will say this, no matter where we go, well, folks, we were leaving Target Field the other day, and the guy started walking in front of us, and he was trying to take a selfie of Gibby while walking in front of us as Alex Wilson comes in as part of a Wallside Windows pitching change, his 59th appearance.
Like I didn't see it.
And like you didn't see it, so you were kind of weaving back and forth like you were out juking a defensive back in the days. And then a group of Detroiters is in front of us, and they've got a rally monkey apparently. They threw it up here into the booth and asked for a picture, and Gibby humbly obliged. With Alex Wilson in the ball game, Blaine Hardy's 1 inning is done.
If it was a rally goose, it might have worked.
It might have worked. It still has time. Nico Goodrum has moved to first, and Ronnie Rodriguez has been inserted in the shortstop's position. There's a tapper back to Wilson for an easy start. So here's the changes we just mentioned. Jim Adducci's night is done, and so is my Ram pick the stick.
Wait a minute. So is the pitcher in the 2 spot? I think
that's the double switch, right?
I'll have to look it up and see.
Eric Thames, the pinch hitter now for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Wilson went in for a Ducey. So his pitcher goes in the number 5 spot. And that puts, who went in for him?
Ronnie Rodriguez.
So Ronnie's down there in the 9th spot.
it take some time for you to get used to managing in the National League with all those double switches and the various maneuvers you can make?
Well, I mean, when you manage, there's a lot more than you're used to as a bench coach, for sure. But it's a good time. It's fun. It allows you to be creative in what you're trying to accomplish to do.
Wilson, back-to-back quick outs. As Thames looks at a called third strike. 6th strikeout for a Tigers pitcher tonight. Lorenzo Cain was a strikeout victim his last time up. In tight. Grounded to third. Candelario on the charge.
Good boy.
And a first time that the Tigers have sent the Brewers down 1-2-3, and it takes place here in the 6th as we move to the 7th. Detroit down by a pair.
How about that? That is Cameron Yelich, the youngest brother of Christian Yelich, who is here in attendance today after serving 4 years in the United States Marine Corps. And in fact, today is the first time he had an opportunity to come watch his brother play at Miller Park. And there they are, side by side. It is the young Cameron coming out to throw the first pitch. What do you think? I think you framed it pretty good, Christian. He fires up this Milwaukee crowd, but really an awesome moment there. Like I said, 4 years in the Marine Corps. He enrolled 4 years ago in September, and then his fate would have it. He's got an opportunity to come here and watch his big brother pitch in a playoff-type atmosphere. Of course, Christian and these Brewers getting ready to play in the postseason for the first time. So anyway, exciting stuff. And then also, there's another brother. There's 3 Yelich brothers all total. There's Colin, who was drafted by the Braves back in 2015. Colin is here as well. So Christian's having them all over, staying at the house. He said, I think I got enough space. We'll make it work.
I wonder if there's any wrestling going on.
It might be.
Right?
You know how brothers are.
Oh, yeah.
You know for sure.
Yeah, my 3 boys, absolutely.
But that's really
it's
cool.
It's a really cool story. And throwing out that first pitch, like you mentioned, and his brother catching it, and then Christian Yelich hitting that homer, Johnny. I mean, What a kind of a storybook night it's been for them so far.
Yeah, those are the cool stories in baseball.
Just the ovation he gets when he comes to plate has to make his brother proud of his other brother.
It is interesting. Christian was playing for Team USA in the 2017 World Baseball Classic, where Team USA won a gold medal at Dodger Stadium. And that wasn't far from where the Yelich brothers grew up. They grew up in Thousand Oaks, California. And while that was taking place, Cameron, as Johnny mentioned, was training with the Marines in Hawaii. And I love what Yelich told MLB.com earlier this year. He said, you know, what we did in winning the gold medal was nothing compared to what my brother does. He fights for our country and puts it all on the line. This was the next best thing, the best thing that we could do to bring him here and for them to put that, Johnny, as you mentioned in your pregame on Tigers Live, the flag that his brother gave him is up in the weight room.
Yeah, that's what's pretty cool. You know, I think with Christian and all these young players, you have an understanding for the true heroes in this country, the ones that are out there putting it all on the line. He said, you know, we really have a better understanding now of what military families go through, the schedules. And he said, you know, earlier this season, he sent over some Milwaukee Brewers gear to where the guys were stationed in Hawaii. And Cameron and the boys wanted to thank him, so they sent back a flag, a USMC flag, and they all signed it. And so that's hanging here in the weight room at Miller Park. So
love it.
All good stuff.
Very good. Corey Knebel is the new pitcher for Milwaukee. Spent a year with the Tigers.
Yeah, high velocity, 97 plus, big curveball. McCann welcomed him with that's a wall-side windows pitching change in 34 games. McCann welcomed him with the single. It says his second hit of the day.
Knebel was a first-round pick of the Tigers, 2013, out of Texas. He had the second most saves in Longhorns baseball history, second only to Houston Street. He gave up that famous home run to Magglio Ordonez to push the Tigers into the World Series.
That's sliders and changeups.
Oh, 2 to Jacoby Jones. One down. Throughout our broadcast, we're highlighting some of the best offensive displays all season. Victor Reyes had one, Gibby.
September 2nd in Yankee Stadium, hit a home run, a 2-run home run earlier. 4 for 5, then he hit another home run. Was that the 3-run home run later? Well, I'm on another one, I guess.
Yeah, I think he had the home run and a couple of doubles, you know, but he did drive in 3. So impressive display for Victor Reyes on that night. Career high hits for him. Those are hard to come by, though, aren't they?
That's after he had set for a while and came off the bench, surprised everybody. That was an exciting game.
Playing in left tonight for Kristen Stewart, who's day-to-day with an injury. Knebel just outside. Reyes with his 0 for 2 night tonight, now 0 for his last 13. Did have a really good at bat last time up, though.
That's what we like about Victor. See his on base percentage in 17 games this month. Room for improvement. He chases too much. League average is 29. But he's shown he can run. He's athletic. He's got some pop.
Does chase a little bit, but I thought, I would guess, Gibby, you expect that from a young player.
Yeah, he hasn't played at this level. I mean, he's a Rule 5 pick, so he may have got a call up this year, but he may not have been up here all year.
Right.
Next year, he'll be in the Tiger system. They'll be able to maneuver him around a little more.
2-2 pitch to him. And that's even more challenging, right, Gibby, when you don't get consistent at bats when you're.
That's hard.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard, but it's the way you bring him into your system. I think you pay $25,000 or $50,000 to get him, and if you send him back to the club and expose him to you, then you get 25 back. Tigers wanted to keep him in the organization.
Checked his swing, but it was a called third strike. Back-to-back Ks now for Corey Knievel.
Boy, that was a nasty pitch. Good sell by the catcher right here. Look, he pulls it up. The umpire's on the inside shoulder, so he doesn't maybe get as good of a look right there. He gets the late call. I have to say something on that one. You get losing so many games, and at some point you get frustrated. You know, you gotta say an extra word or two.
Especially because you're going to have these umpires for an entire series. Here's Ronnie Rodriguez, his first at-bat of the night.
If you feel it's too far off, let him know. It's legal. Throw over to first. I don't think James is heading anywhere. Tigers down by 2. You got that tiny run at the plate. And Ronnie Rodriguez, he's definitely going to see some breaking balls. Now, if he could just sit on one, hopefully he throws one that breaks right down the middle of the plate, he'd have a good chance to hit it out.
Has a 5-game hitting streak on the line. And during this stretch, Rodriguez is batting .421, 8 for his last 19.
They didn't like that call either, but it is nasty. Look at that. Ronnie trying to stay back and not pull off as much as he did early in the year. That's hard to do. I mean, his whole style of hitting, his stance, where he's got his hands, you move him a little bit, it takes you a while to feel the confidence in it. Knievel, he really's got a kind of a violent delivery, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Last year, 39 saves for Corey Knievel. 2-2 pitch.
Slider's got to be.
After surrendering a single, he strikes out the side. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Started out great for the Tigers in the first. They strung together 5 singles in a row, scored 3 runs, and they were up 3-0 for Jordan Zimmerman. But in the bottom of the first, a couple of home runs highlighted by Christian Yelich's 2-run shot, his 34th of the year. Ryan Braun, 2 batters later, a solo job, and we were tied. And then in the third, an RBI single from Mike Moustakas, just a blooper play to Yelich to give Milwaukee the lead. They would tack on 1 more in the 4th, and that's where we stand here in Milwaukee, game 1 of the 3-game series.
Tigers have not had much going on at all since the first inning. They did have the 5 hits, like you said, scored 2 runs. Actually, it was 3. And the Brewers pitching been dominant. Lots of sliders, lots of breaking balls, and good ones. The further they get down in that back end of that bullpen, it gets way harder.
Yeah, really difficult. Before the James McCann single to lead off the top of this inning in the 7th, Brewers pitching had retired 17 straight Tigers hitters.
Yelich, one of the good things, if you're Yelich, is you start to get a few calls too your way when you're playing as good as you're playing this year. You're MVP type guy. Get the benefit of the doubt.
Big swing there to make it 3-2, or 2-2 rather.
Alex Wilson, just since he's been here, he's been so good in every capacity, whether he's starting, long guy, closer, setup man. Seems to have a nice, calm heartbeat, regardless of the situation.
Yelich didn't like it, but he's down.
Looked like it was right there, didn't it? Top of the corner.
I think he's more upset at himself than he is the call.
I would agree. Several called third strikes on both teams today.
Jesus Aguilar stands in. Almost 45,000 strong here at Miller Park in Milwaukee.
They're always a good crowd. They're very knowledgeable. They have a good clap for good plays. That's both home and road teams. They appreciate good baseball.
Did you ever play at County Stadium?
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of that place? It's not even close to what this place is, but still.
It was close to next door, I mean, when they built it, but it was open. The lake's not too far. It's kind of a big, tall stadium. The Packers played a couple of games there a year.
Yeah, I think they played 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, this is much nicer. Had a long route from the locker room down the stairs, and kind of a nasty green tile. They had
Yeah, pretty beat up, huh?
They didn't really have meals like they did now, but
No.
a couple guys would sneak some hot plates in there and set them up in close proximity to areas that you wouldn't normally cook by. So that's what I remember about Old County Stadium.
Yeah, they used to put the media out on the deck at the top, and it got pretty brisk up there. Aguilar fouls it away.
But they had from foul pole to foul pole, it was a 3-tiered stadium, tall, and then in outfield was bleachers. Anaheim was like that when we came in to the game.
Pops it foul. Only Matt Carpenter has hit more homers in the National League than Jesus Aguilar. Struck out a couple of times so far tonight. You see the Brewers box score. their mascot, just hoping to slide down from a home run. Johnny King did that on Tigers Live pregame in case you missed it. Johnny's was a lot more impressive because he had a suit and tie on. So his head's not quite as big as the mascot. Aguilar strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And how about 3 strikeouts for Alex Wilson since coming on board?
He's got some life on that fastball. Good breaking pitch.
MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment. Get Detroit Tigers home screen icons and features such as live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Yeah, if you like baseball, that's the app. We watch stuff everywhere.
Oh, you do. If you're not watching baseball, you're watching some type of hunting situation.
I don't watch much on
Oh,
stuff.
come on.
I don't. It just appears that way. It's like a trick license
It
plate.
just appears that way. Just every time you're watching me, it just happens to go that way. Travis Shaw, he struck out twice so far tonight. Remember the start of this road trip, all the rookies for the Tigers had to dress up like Oompa Loompas. You know who was behind all that? The man pitching and the man catching for the Tigers.
Look at that strike zone. It's getting wider. That living right, isn't it?
Well, that was almost in the Brewers dugout. Careful when you're leaning over.
Now you got one more telecast on Sunday, right?
Correct.
And I was watching TV today. Remember when Ted Williams hit 406? Going into the last day, he had a doubleheader. Can't remember the year. You might know it.
Could have sat out that game if you recall,
You know,
but refused to do that. That's high and tight.
I watch lineups around the league, and we have a discussion on Sunday about who we think's sitting on that 300 average. Or Ted Williams was well above 400 after the first game and almost demanded that.
Right.
He played the second game. He was 6 for 8.
That was 1941, by the way. Yeah, you don't find many people doing that these days, do you?
Oh, I think they do.
You do.
Josh Hader, this guy's been lights out.
Oh man, his numbers are off the charts.
It is incredible. Yeah, I think they do. But is that right or wrong?
I don't think they do. So, half-hearted swing, and Alex Wilson strikes out the side of the 7th. Can't ask a whole lot more than what Alex Wilson delivered here in Milwaukee on this Friday night. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Very cool moment. Thanks, Mickey. Love that. Classy move by that organization.
Little conversation going on there.
Rick Anderson, Alex Wilson, and James McCann. And now we see one of the hardest throwing and best relievers in all baseball, Josh Hader.
Xfinity's high-speed pitch. Look at that. Lowest opponent average versus fastball in Major League Baseball, 130. Highest miss rate, 35%. And I saw he gave it up the other day in St. Louis, but this guy has been really good for the Brewers.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, does it?
No.
That Milwaukee bullpen has been really impressive, Gibby. I mean, we've seen some good bullpens recently as Travis Shaw moves to first. This bullpen has an ERA of 3.52, second best in the National League to the Cubs, fifth best in the majors. Hader's a huge reason for it as he pumps that one in at 96.
Now you say the Cubs is the best, but they're
numbers wise, I'm
beat,
sorry.
yeah, they're beat up right now.
Yeah.
That's but over the year, that's what's carried him.
They also, and a lot of it is because of Josh Hader, have the #1 strikeout rate, or #2 strikeout rate rather, in the National League, second only to San Diego, #4 in the majors. Victor Alcantara warming for the Tigers. First time Candelario bats from the right side, and he's down 1-2 in the count. In tight, 2-2. Candelario thought it hit him.
Yep.
And it did.
Good job, Candy. Talked him into it. Does it hit him? It says it did. Look at Candy. He tells the umpire right away, and he gets the call. Surprised Craig Counsell didn't come out of there. Just nicked him, looked like. Good for the Tigers. They got the tying run to the plate off Josh Hader. Hader's been a setup guy, and then Jeremy Jeffress is the guy they go with in the ninth. They're gonna take a look at that, huh?
They are.
I don't know how you could tell one way or the other, but we'll take a look. May have missed him. Crowd thinks it did. So Craig Counsell got some recommendation to go ahead and review it. I mean, you're in the 8th inning, right? Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, if it hit him, it would have hit him on the back elbow, right? The right elbow.
Here we go. We got some looks right here. You have to look from the other side. Didn't look like it ricocheted. I don't know if they'll overturn it on that one.
That's a really tough one to see. They're going to give him first base.
Yeah, that's too hard to see. I think that Candy barely felt it. You know, if it gets close there, even if you got a hair follicle sticking out, it's going to breeze by it.
Yeah.
It was close anyway. Look at it, and Tigers have the leadoff runner on and the tying run at the dish.
And Dewal Lugo.
Everybody's playing tonight.
Well, remember, this is where Alex Wilson was about to hit, right? So Lugo stands in for the first time tonight. Takes a first pitch strike. Lugo 3 for 10 in the series against Minnesota. hits in back-to-back games. 2 of those 3 hits came in one game a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, we didn't get the real report. I mean, it's showing that Wilson went in, pitcher went in for a doozy, but they're showing Lugo now hitting for Harold Castro. We'll figure it out. We know Gardy's got the card. That double switch thing that we missed when he went out. It's really technical the way you have to explain it to the umpire. 'Cause if you do it wrong, you have to use an extra guy.
2-1 pitch to Lugo. They get 2-2.
Let's see if we can see it right there. Where does it say the pitcher's at? No, he'd be up top of the card. It's on the card.
Where are all those marks? Where are all those marks?
Those are guys that are out of the game.
Out?
We need to see the 1 through 9 part. Yeah, just like that. Lugo's there. Aducci, who does that say? I can't read that. Next to
Below
him.
Aducci is McCann. Next to him?
No, yeah, the 5 spot. Who does it say in the red to the right?
Yeah, it's a tough one for me to see too.
Yeah, that's what I had for the pitcher spot. So they just plain old.
They should be marking that in darker ink, right, for you and I.
I used to just put a big P. But
For
yeah,
what?
pitcher.
Gotcha.
See,
Oh yeah.
you don't want to lose track of that. If they pitch at Lugo, they're going for the home run. Let's see if he can come through.
Stroke to left. Deep. Way back. We are tied.
That wasn't too sweet. Think there any Cub players watching?
Think there any Cub players cheering?
There you see it. Good job. Just nice and short. He had those 2 strikes on him. Changed his approach. And Josh Hader supplies the distance from the barrel.
First career Major League homer for Dewald Lugo. And the Tigers have evened it up at 5.
Well, just so you know, those guys are got to figure out who's playing where and how many guys they got left. Getting whittled down.
Castellanos goes for the downs, comes up empty, 0-2.
Trying to figure it out here. Used a lot of players.
Castellanos 1 for 3. You mentioned Hader providing the power. How much of that do you think is provided for a guy like Dewald Lugo?
Yeah, well, if you put the barrel on it, you just, it's kind of like a golf swing. Sometimes you swing and it's just perfect, right? And it just goes a long way. It's just everything syncs up. So Tigers have plenty of pitchers. Position players, they got V-Mart, Pete Cosma,
SUV march supposedly done, right?
Yeah, Grayson Griner. I'm just saying who's eligible.
Gotcha.
Stewie,
Yeah, good. Kristen Stewart pinch hit.
Mikey. So you got Mikey, Stewie, Griner. So now we got to figure out. Lugo can go in for Castro, so that works. Let's see if he goes out and double switches again.
Castellanos was behind in the account, 0-2. It's now full to him.
Hader, this is his second tough outing. These guys have been carrying a lot of mail, you know what I mean? A lot of the baggage all year, and they're getting a little tired.
Lost him. A hit batter, a 2-run homer, and now a walk.
Some discussion going on there. Derek Johnson, I believe, pitching coach.
Joaquin Soria, the former Tiger, warming up. He came in right around the same time you and I did to the ballpark today.
Early.
Yeah, saw him park the SUV, walking in, give you a nod.
Sweet move by Gardy this inning. Gives the Tigers a tie score, a 2-run home run. Candy let it off, got hit by a pitch. Noel Lugo pinch hit for Harold Castro. It went deep. It makes it 5-5. Nick walked after an 0-2 count. These are good innings. We got 3 good at-bats in a row.
And you had mentioned some of the position players available. Mikey Matuk now on deck for the Tigers, as you saw.
For the pitcher.
For the pitcher.
So this gets into a late game where, you know, extra innings. Some pitchers going to end up playing a position. That's always fun. They love it.
It's always interesting, isn't it?
They love it, though.
Where should they play?
Depends. That's where you need them. You know, the thing is, as a manager, first thing you do is worry about tying the game up or winning the game.
Goodrum goes the other way. Deep to right. And the catch made by Christian Yelich. That kept carrying. 1 down. No one took Mikey Matuk, and Ram picked the stick, and for good reason. But Mickey York continues to lengthen his lead a little bit with Nico Goodrum. Gibby and I each have a couple of points. Johnny looking for a scratch here with Jamer Candelario, and
got a pitching change out there.
Greg Monroe with a -1 with Victor Reyes.
So it'll be Soria is going to come in for Hader.
Tigers threatening for more. They've already tied it up on the 2-run homer from Noel Lugo.
Gardner with a good move. Pinch hits Joel Lugo for Harold Castro, and he takes him out of the park. You see he kept those hands in really tight, the barrel. We look at StatCast, 102.1 miles per hour, 23-degree launch angle, 404 feet. And you could watch and see Ryan Braun look up. You knew it was gone. We got a new pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's going to be Joaquin Soria.
Was a Tiger in 14 and 15, parts of 15. Traded to the Tigers in 2014 for his current Brewers teammate, Corey Knievel, and then in 2015 appeared in a career-high 72 games with the Tigers and Pirates. Traded for Jacoby Jones on July 30th that year. Mikey Matuk drills one to left.
Pitch in for the pitcher.
Leaves it up to James McCann with 2 down.
McCann's got a couple of hits. He's due to hit one out of the park. Abbott's done him.
I think the Lugo one stunned just about everybody.
Yeah, it was really, it'd knock him out.
That's the 4th homer allowed by Josh Hader this month, by the way. So you had talked about, you and I were talking about Milwaukee's bullpen and how good it was, and strikeout rate and ERA, but you had mentioned that, look, they've logged a lot of innings too, and it's kind of come to fruition there with Josh Hader, who's allowed 9 homers on the year, 4 coming this month.
You're watching Soria right here. He's kind of getting into a pattern, just kind of come set and go. See if Nick doesn't try and get him one time. If he keeps it up, and they get 2 strikes on him.
Castellanos 2 for 3 in the stolen base department this year. It's an area where the Tigers have improved.
This is where you got to grind it out, though. Somebody's got to be watching from the you're watching from the dugout. Ramon Santiago's watching.
Two and 1 to James McCann.
Coming in at 92 mile an hour. So it looks like he's trying to figure out when he's coming set. And then about a 1,000 and he's going. It's not even 1,001. Turns that head over there.
A couple of singles for James McCann tonight. One of them drove in a run.
We've got to cut at that. So you see when he turns his head to the left and just go 1,000 and take off, I think he'd have him timed up perfect. Right when he looks over there at first, he's going to go home. Just keep it right there and there.
Good job to stay alive from McCann.
McCann's been doing a real good job of that in the last 2 or 3 games. He's totally given himself up. Just saw the break ball coming, just slapped it into the stands.
Since you did a lot in your career, especially in that famous at-bat in 1988, just kind of foiled off a couple of pitches from Dennis Eckersley at the time.
Later in my career. Go.
McCann does it again.
Seemed like they try and throw him inside. 2 purposes. Number 1, try and get him to swing at it. Hoping that he's looking out over the plate. The other purpose would be to set him up for his next pitch. Everything's been kind of away by Soria.
Breaking ball got him. But the Tigers tie it up thanks to Joel Lugo's first major league homer and the first pinch hit homer for the Tigers since September of 2016 by Victor Martinez.
Early in the ball game, time for a Miller Lite Hold True moment. Well, when you come to Miller Park, one of the main attractions is Bernie's Slide, and the people of the Brewers organization were kind enough to let Kevin Gurlewski, our photographer, and me go down the slide and give it a run. I'm telling you, it was more than I bargained for. They put some extra lacquer on that thing. We came in pretty hot, of course.
Extra lacquer.
It was.
That's awesome.
When did you do it? Today?
Yeah, a little bit before the clubhouse opened. But yeah, that was in memory of Dawah Lugo's home run there, because Bernie Brewer always does it every time a Brewers player goes yard. So it was fun, man.
So you think they made that a little faster for you than they did for the mascot, huh?
They put a little extra Crisco on that thing.
When's the last time you went down a slide?
I couldn't even tell you.
Really? What about some of those water slides, Johnny? Come on, you've been out to Waterford, right?
I've been up there, but yeah, I haven't been on too many water slides, I'll be honest.
That was classic. You almost took a spill there, didn't you? I mean, it almost turned you over.
Well, you're coming down on a burlap sack. I had to sign a pretty extensive waiver. And this year I was going to bring old Stumper. Daniel Stump was going to go down the slide with me. I thought, you know what? I'll never hear the end of it if I get him hurt.
Oh, that's a good
point. So I decided I would just we'll just go on our own.
I was more afraid you were going to ruin the suit.
I think I did tear the back of it a little bit.
Alcantara, who's been dynamite in relief for the Tigers against Ryan Braun. Braun 2 for 3. 6 total bases tonight.
He's going for the downs on that last swing. Very dangerous. Got Braun, Moustakas, and Kratz. Braun, obviously the most dangerous.
Rookie of the year in 2007. Driven foul.
He's definitely pulling the ball there, trying. The other hit he had, remember, he went to right center. It's a better swing, but he came over top of this.
Yeah, the double was to right center. The homer was to left center, and he's flown out to straightaway center. $19 homers on the year for Ryan Braun. Tough pitch to take. It's 2-2.
Tied at 5. Got a feeling you're going to have to dig in. There's going to be some drama to this game, like back and forth. Everybody get ready.
Already has been, right?
Yeah, but I mean, really.
So 6 runs scored in the first inning alone. And then the Tigers were shut out. And not just on the scoreboard, but I mean, they had 17 batters in a row retired by Milwaukee pitchers. Breakthrough in the 8th, and it's a whole new ballgame. To right field. Castellanos drifting back.
Yep.
Still going back, and it is
Caught.
gone.
It hit his glove.
Wow, and it rolled over. So close.
Looked like he got stuffed a little bit. He might have got stuffed, got too close there. We talked about that earlier in the year. Oh, it hit his glove and bounced over. Hit right in the heel of the glove. I thought he caught it.
I originally did too. I think Nick Castellanos had the same feeling. Moustakas has had back-to-back hits. Pops it foul for Braun in his career, his 32nd multi-homer game. 4th this year.
Remember those previous swings he took, and we were referencing that he was rolling over.
Yeah.
We referenced the fact that he went to right field and center field. He made that correction at that plate. And he didn't miss it. He got the backspin, and fortunately it went off Nick's glove.
What did you say before he hit the homer? Very dangerous. Moustakas launches this one high to right. Castellanos with room, 1 down. A little extra juice in the building tonight because of what this means to Milwaukee. The Cubs were comfortable winners earlier today over the Cardinals. Milwaukee trying to win here tonight to stay within a game, and thus setting up even more drama the rest of the weekend. Milwaukee's comfortably, they've already guaranteed a wild card spot. The St. Louis loss earlier today really hurt the Cardinals. Eric Kratz, one of those guys you and I talked to before the game, and asked him about, playing this type of game. Are you loose? Do you feel tense, knowing it's more important? He says, look, loose is a relative term, right? If you're saying the other team's loose, that they've got nothing to lose, don't you worry about complacency? He says, besides, I think the Tigers, this is his words now, I think the Tigers have plenty to play for. He says, look, their best hitter, Nick Castellanos, he's going to be a free agent soon. They've got some young guys who are trying to prove themselves. Don't tell me they're not playing for anything.
They're going to have to match Milwaukee. We said it all game. They have. They're going to have to do it off their closer.
Hot shot, gloved by Candelario. 2 down. Nice play.
Kratz loves that fastball middle end. Boy, he just pounds it. We got the see Jamer just kind of take a little back step. Gets it, knows he's got a slow runner, and just easily throws him out. So they're going to get Jeffress, closer, I'm sure. The Tigers are going to send Jacoby, Victor, and Ronnie. All capable of getting on, getting the bag, or hitting it out of the ballpark. How about you get on and then let your teammate hit one out?
PMA, positive mental attitude. Love it.
Chamber trying to make sure he gets that ball down the line. Starting to learn where to play, getting a better pre-pitch, so he's getting to more balls. He's always been better to his right than he is his left. Grind, you got to really concentrate right now. Be ready.
0-2 pitch. Darnell Coles and Ryan Braun right there in that same picture.
Orlando Arcias has pretty good at bats tonight too. Scrappy down at the bottom of the order. He's got a single, double. Scored a run.
And then tapped back to the mound his last time up. Not bad for a guy who's hitting just a $125 in interleague play. It's just his second double against an American League team this year. Milwaukee 10-7 in interleague competition this year.
Looks like kind of a free swinger.
They've won 4 in a row and 7 of their last 10 coming into the series. Scored it to second. The Tigers are out of it, but they're going to see the Brewers' lights out closer in the 9th. Mickey, those one-run games for the Tigers, they have been a problem all season long, haven't they? Detroit 21-28 in one-run affairs. Hoping to change that here tonight, but they will definitely have to earn it, won't they? And they'll do it against Milwaukee's best.
Jeremy Jeffress. This guy is a big fastball, curveball change. Batting averages on the fastball less than 200. The change 185 and the curveball 157. Lots of misses. He's going to spin a lot of them. We've watched the way they pitch the Tigers, and he's going to spin a lot of breaking balls.
13 saves on the year. Team's batting under 190 against him. Jacoby Jones, Victor Reyes, and a player to be named. Well, no, it would be Ronnie Rodriguez, actually. At least that's who's due up. One and two.
3 curveballs in a row. Got behind in the count. Still came with it. Got some changes here.
Yelich moves from right to left, and Keon Broxton is in right field. Huh?
An old diamond back there.
Hit him. Remember last time a Tiger led off the inning being hit, they ended up scoring 2. Here's the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Daniel Norris for the Tigers. Wade Miley, the former Houston Astro, for the Brewers.
Yeah, Miley's been on fire his last half, and Daniel Norris 0-5, still looking for that first win. He's looking to finish strong tomorrow and then go down to winter ball, and be ready to go in spring training. And Wade Miley, we used to have fun with him. He's a good friend. He's a little goofy.
I invite you to watch it on FS1. Brian Anderson and Eric Karros on the call.
Jacoby has a lot to add right here.
Would you put him in motion? Would you have him try to steal? He's 12 for 17 in the stolen base category.
I would want to time it. I'd want to verify what's going on first. I'd like to read Jeffress, which I'm going to do. I'm going to get his time. Ramon Santiago's already got it. I want to see his move. Jacoby gets back so easy. He's one of the few guys that stands up like that. He covers so much ground on each step back. You got to engage. You don't want to get in a hurry here. You want to engage the pitcher and the catcher. It's a cat and mouse game. It's a game within the game. It's just like in a bat over there. One, 2-0. He was holding there, and then he went up quick but high. Jacoby could time him up. I think that he could get him somewhere along the way here.
Reyes squared the bunt last time on the last pitch. See if he does it again here. Swinging away. 2-0.
126.
Jeffress really wanted that pitch. 27 saves a couple of years ago for Jeffress.
A lot of signs coming out of Dave Clark's sequence there. I think he'll be slower this time. It's a 2-0 count. This might be as slow as one. He's going to slow down and make sure he throws a strike. Turns quick but doesn't have a quick throw. I think Jacoby can maybe get another 2 or 3 feet. Start setting up there. Get that fastball for Victor.
Pulls in a strike, 2-1. Tigers closer warming.
Just in case. Looks like Jeffers puts his head down. He doesn't throw over. Let's see. Might be good again.
Can't find the strike zone.
Because he's thinking about Jacoby. That's how it works. So when you watch his head there, when he keeps it down, yet he has not thrown over. When he looks up more, he's thrown over. He lifts it.
Reyes, grounded to second. Taylor made double play.
Fired up.
And out away from his 14th save. And a 93rd win for the Brewers this year. Ronnie Rodriguez. Rodriguez does have 5 homers on the year.
Listen to the energy in here, huh? It's where you want to have in Comerica, because you close out your season next year.
It's been a good game, too. Rodriguez to left. Yelich has it. Milwaukee is now 32-19 in one-run games. Stay tuned. Tigers Live postgame from the Coliseum studio. It's coming up next.